Hello everybody and welcome to our live stream. I hope that you can hear us okay. I do know that we are using the little webcam up here on the top today because we've just a temporary solution for us. So hopefully later on in the stream we're going to get it back up to the best possible quality we can get. But with me, without further ado, we have the CEO of Frontier Developments and co-creator of the original Elite.
Hello everybody.
David Braben.
As always, we had a few technical problems, but that's why we're slightly late. But we found a workaround for them. Apologies if the sound is a bit rubbish.
But if you can, yeah. So some people in the chat are already saying tad echoey but clear, so it's working. So that's great. They can hear us.
Right.
And that it was really fun troubleshooting with David Braben here. It's absolutely amazing.
No, I came in and for some reason it stopped working. It has some sort of sensor on it that just knows.
Settings there. So we have a really exciting day today. Of course, we've got Elite Dangerous coming out on the Xbox One, the final release.
That's right.
How does it feel?
So it feels amazing. Firstly, the team have been working really hard, so a big thanks to them. I mean, with all of these things, there are lots of. It's always the little things that hold things up. It's like today with microphones not working.
Yeah. But of course, it's coming out. It's going to be ready within.
It will be ready soon, as Mike Brooks would say. It's very close. It's very exciting to see it on Xbox, and really proud what the team have been able to do. Playing CQC 1080p, 60 frames on a huge screen is really amazing. And I know a lot of people out there have already killed me because I'm not very good. That was partly why some of you would have seen on my tweet that I set up a hothouse, because I've been playing without hothouse for ages because I like sitting in the armchair, but now I've got a solution.
Yeah, fantastic. So obviously, when we do, you can play the Xbox. You can play on the Xbox pad at home. I often do when I'm at home. I play on the Xbox pad.
Oh, I do. I love the Xbox pad. Don't get me wrong. It's just people with. I'm still rubbish on that. That was what's funny.
Okay, if it's still saying offline, guys in the chat, just press F5 and get it restarted again, and it should load in. Although they won't hear that, so if you could, somebody could tell them in the chat. But yes, so I'm Edward Lewis, community manager, part of the amazing community team here with a couple of others. In fact, we're just growing. But today we're very lucky to be joined by David, who's going to hopefully answer a few questions in the chat. We were going to try and get you playing, but obviously that's not just going to happen just yet, so maybe next time. And we have some amazing giveaways planned as well. And actually, to start with, what we'll do is I'll show everybody what this piece of artwork we've got. You look up here, it's very nice. Lovely piece of artwork. We've got loads of guests coming on all the day throughout the day. We've got Gary Richards, who is the senior producer on Xbox. We've got look at his list, Sandro Samarco, Jim Stimson, who's been on the stream before. We've got Mike Brooks, Adam Woods, Eddie Simons, Chart Kruger. There's loads of people coming by, and each time they're going to sign this. And at the very end of the stream, if you stay till 8 p.m, at the very end of the stream, we're going to give it away to somebody watching. And also we've got all other things as well. We've got I've got all sorts. Something else I'll leave till a little bit later. But for now, let's talk to David about Xbox One.
Xbox One is wonderful. I mean, it's the coming to the Xbox platform. Obviously, it's like achievements. Everything. It's something that's compelled me to play on Xbox for a long time. But it's that wonderful feeling of sort of where you move to the sitting room, and also I think CQC is the other thing that I'd like to call out. Because it brings a different style of play to the game. I found that you play in longer sessions for a game like Elite because there's more sort of time commitment, but sometimes if you just think, oh, I've got 20-30 minutes, you can actually just have a few rounds of CQC and you're straight in there. And also, it's really funny, there's that psychological thing where you've got a ship that you saved up for ages, that you're a bit sort of, you don't want to risk it too much, and then whereas with CQC you can just go and sort of have at it. I mean, especially when someone else plays, you say, oh, try this. You think, oh no, I don't want to go and lose. Whereas CQC, you can do that. So very proud of what we got there. Also, that we've able to get the whole Galaxy, the whole simulation of the Galaxy into Xbox One. That's something else I'm very proud of. It won't matter to everyone, but to a lot of people, the fact that we've got the science as right as we can. The whole night sky. Having that on an Xbox where you can visit every little dot, you go to Earth and you'll recognise that the night sky is our night sky. You see all the nebulae, you see all the stars themselves. But you don't have to go very far, and the sky is recognisable but different.
Yeah,
I love
challenge
that.
to get on Xbox One. I mean, I can talk to Gary Richards later about some of the production behind that, but you'll know probably.
Well, the Xbox One is a really good machine, and I think people don't realise that. I think that there were a lot of challenges, but a lot of them is getting everything from. I mean, networking is always a challenge anyway, in working with a different system. And working still on the same galaxy. So that's something that I think is a huge achievement. No, but the Xbox itself is a lovely machine, and I think it's got a really great future. But it's lovely to see the communities coming together.
Yeah. So obviously you have seen, well, since 1984, the community grow. Obviously, a lot of these people, a lot of these names in the chat, I think I just saw Drew Waygard here actually.
Hi Drew, I didn't see you. Sorry.
Yeah, we're playing the game back in 1984, the original Elite.
Oh yes.
And there would be no Elite Dangerous without those people, without that community. So, have you seen a different feeling in the community with Elite Dangerous, how they were to Elite? Is it the internet must be an interesting thing? Sort of how
the internet is a funny beast, as everyone knows. Yeah, I mean, I think there's change. I mean, in the very early days of Elite, there were a lot of there's a lot of nostalgia, people coming, but very, very quickly we saw people who weren't familiar with the previous games who just wanted a great game set in space. And I think one of the things that you see now with CQC is we've got an experience that isn't really out there at all, which is great. That feeling of dipping in, playing for literally 5 minutes and having a really good time, and coming out. The dare I say, the Call of Duty experience, and so many people, just love to have a quick blast in that, and that equivalent sort of footprint of time helps to me as well, sort of cement the learning curve, if you like. A lot of people have criticised us for having a really difficult, not hand-holding, but to be honest, I do like the way that the game doesn't patronise you, which is the sort of the flip side of that coin.
It feels very much like the original 1984 sort of PC game for core PC gamers.
But it's not just 1984. The whole 80s and the early 90s, gamers, it was a much more of a commitment than it is now. I mean, we have very difficult games now, which require a lot of investment of time. Wonderful games like Skyrim, for example. I'm really looking forward to the new Fallout. And they take a lot to get into, but it's that level of being part of something that I do really, really like with Elite Dangerous. And so I think it's like learning a game is like a staircase, and it's just we've put in another step in that staircase with CQC, so that you can just immediately become familiar with just the controls without having to worry about a lot of the other things you have to worry about in the game.
Yeah, and that's what today is all about, of course. A lot of people asking in the chat about when these servers are going to be back online.
I think we'd all like to get people are working very hard on it. This is the trouble. The real problem that people don't appreciate with a big development team is that there are a lot of moving parts, and it just requires one of those moving parts to not be ready, that we can't flip the server live. So apologies to everybody for that. But we're equally waiting in anticipation, but that's not to try and put additional pressure on the team who are trying to get it right. They did such a good job when we originally launched Elite Dangerous on PC and then again on Mac. It was very smooth and seamless, but that's because they did the sort of preparation that they're doing right now.
But there's of course a lot else coming in 1.4 as well on top of CQC. You've got all the new ships and things like that. I think in fact this is the Imperial Eagle on here as well, beautiful looking ship. And I'll just to reiterate,
that's right.
Yeah, at the end of the stream today, hopefully we're going to have like a bit of a break after David, just to try and maybe get these microphones back up and running properly. But yeah, these are going to be signed by everybody who comes on as a guest today to sign these, and at the end I'll be giving it away on the stream. We've got the Imperial Eagle right here, which is a beautiful looking ship. I don't know if people are asking any questions. By the way, throw some questions out for David on here. David would love to talk
I've seen a few sort of scrolling past and trying to go so fast so quickly.
So no jumper, David, somebody asks. I think
no, it's actually quite warm here. Although it was pouring with rain, it's not that cold.
Yeah. See I'm sure there's a little bit of a delay.
Okay.
So it'll take a while.
I'm patient. Yes, I know. I mean, it's the people are working very hard. So that's. So any questions? Should we scroll up a bit, Ed, or do we see ones that have gone past? Yeah. My hovercraft is full of eels. Yes, indeed it is.
Tell it to stop.
Just stop so I can catch one of the questions. Lens lock, yes. Oh, we could bring lens lock back if you like. I hated lens lock. I mean, when lens lock first came out it was on the Commodore 64. we were shown this wonderful prototype made of metal and really good, and I said, oh well, okay, but I'm surprised you can make that so cheaply. And then, of course, we got the horrible plastic monstrosity.
Getting some stuff coming through here.
Yes,
That's
paint jobs, the Anaconda. Yes, I quite agree. We need more of those.
Yeah, absolutely. We, in fact, well, actually today as well on the stream, I forgot to mention at the start, we are going to announce the winners of the paint job competition which we had. Which is really, really cool. Yeah. Finally going to show those on the screen as well later on today, which is really cool. So stick around for those to see if yours was chosen. And one of those that we've picked is actually an Anaconda. So if that gives any sort of indication as to the direction we might be going with our paint jobs, then hopefully.
Yep. So, okay, next question straight below it. How will the SRV take the salvage on planet side? So I can start. We talked a little bit about things. They can carry things. How about that? Even the SRV can carry stuff. I won't say any more than that because I already get in trouble for saying that.
Awesome.
So I still have a working 48K ZX Spectrum. Excellent.
You can stop and pause.
What's in? Yeah. Any clues as to what you've done to make space more awesome? Well, you mean for 1.4? Well, firstly, the
good answer.
The beacon, you know, what do they call them? The combat zones, which are really mad.
The combat zones, they're just called combat zones, aren't they?
Yeah, but didn't we call them something? Anyway, that's really good. You know, some people have already been playing them in the beta. To me, that makes it more interesting, more exciting.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh, absolutely.
There are a lot of subtle differences we've made. I mean, the team from an art point of view are continually tweaking and changing things. Things have already gotten a little bit better. And I think awesome is made up of lots of little things that each change brings it ever closer. I would like to think it's sort of pretty awesome already. I mean, it's just sort of showing the sheer size and beauty of what's in there. When can we see a gameplay video of Horizons? I'd like to say soon. I don't actually know exactly when, but it's imminent. We're already getting screenshots coming through.
Yeah.
So just scrolling down a bit. Is there going to be an art book for Elite Dangerous? Yes, that's coming. That's being worked on, I believe. Will wing-specific missions be implemented in the future? Yes, well, we've talked a lot about that. With all of these things, the devil is in the detail. What happens if one wing member drops out and all that sort of thing? It's something we've been looking at. I'm afraid I can't say exactly when. I'm sorry, people complaining about me saying soon. But at least that's not me going no comment.
Yeah. So I'm going to actually, while you're looking at those questions, I'm just going to quickly actually add in one of the images that we had from the other day. From the newsletter, which were these Horizon screenshots.
Oh, okay. We can talk a bit about
bring them over our. Yeah. What I found fascinating is that you and I actually, so just putting out in front of our faces for a second. You don't want to look at those anyway. Let's be honest. We had, in fact, I'll do it so you can see you.
I don't want to see me.
They're sick of my face.
You're that stupid bobblehead thing as
well. No, we'll put it over here. So. We sat down beforehand when we were discussing what was going to go into the newsletter, and it's always a really fascinating talk to have with you in that room. It really is, because I'm always interested to find out what interests you the most about these screenshots. So perhaps we can make it look
okay.
On our screen as well.
Just things that I mean, I love the feeling that you've got the sort of moon center stage slightly off, that sort of yellowy white just below the disk of the huge gas giant. I love the awe of it, and also you can see the guidelines that when you're coming into land, the horizon lines. What's interesting there is that always points perpendicular to gravity, and so you can see we're actually on quite a rise. So if you look at the scanner at the bottom, you can see the scanner is shown as much higher on the right than it is on the left, because that's showing that effect. So we're on actually not that big a moon. It's quite potato shaped with quite low gravity.
Okay.
And the ground is actually much higher on the left, although I've aligned the ship to match the slope, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So all these little things, it's all the little details. The fact that we're 120 meters above the ground, all those little things.
Yeah. Were you surprised by the reaction? I don't know if you saw on Reddit that people were quite keen. They were wow, this is amazing.
Oh yes, I regularly do look at our forums and at Reddit. You know, and I think it's lovely to see people sort of appreciating a lot of the things that we've done, and you know, and guessing some of the details there.
It's a good one from Mindwipe.
Mindwipe. How does gravity affect your ship when landing at an angle like that? Well, obviously gravity is different on different worlds, and much like in the when you're landing inside the rotating stations, where the centripetal force essentially gives you the sort of perception of gravity, but the thrusters compensate for it. So you know, as you gradually approach the surface, I mean, obviously in a low gravity world, the response will be slightly slower. But actually, you don't particularly notice it. You notice it much more in the buggy, bizarrely, than in the ship. But you see, as you approach the surface, you can see it starting to raise dust. And this screenshot here, the second of two.
Yeah, I'll increase the size of this one.
As you approach this crashed Type 9, you know, you see the dust rise up. But the gravity itself, you know, you don't have to. You sort of see the ship changes colour when the ground beneath you is suitable to land on.
I found that this picture really fascinating because, of course, you have the crash ship off in the distance.
Can these guys see the mouse pointer?
No, I don't think they can.
He was pointing at the mouse pointer.
Yeah, you can get a plug. You can probably hear the mouse moving around. So I apologise for people at home for that. But I can close it down again. But what I found really
interesting. Probably point. It's really confusing.
This there.
Yeah, that's right.
But you can see that the ship off in the distance there. What sorts of things will people be looking out for when they've landed their ship down?
Well, I mean, the whole point with coming to surface is you come to the surface because of something interesting. So in orbital cruise, which is this new mode, which is sort of super cruise, as you approach the surface, you know, where it will pick up individual bodies. This is an example of one of the bodies that it would have picked up, and that'd be why you're landing here. So you want to land quite close, but not necessarily too close for things that we haven't yet talked about that might be traps or whatever around the ship that might come and get you. You know, so there's a lot of things to think about with that. What I'm saying is the surface isn't necessarily dead. You know, you're sort of hoping that it is, but actually the fact that if there's something there, that's probably a good sign that there's something to be had.
And the dust was a really interesting shot. We haven't yet seen. I don't think we've shown people the ice planets and things like that. But they have their own unique beauty, don't they?
That's right. I think there's some of the concept we maybe have shown.
Yes.
We've shown the concept piece. But yes, there's a lot more things that we've shown. I mean, don't forget there's still more time, and we're also trying not to take the focus off 1.4, which is of course here today.
Sorry, yes, of course, and Xbox, and what that means for Elite Dangerous. It almost marks a sort of year, nearly to a year of people playing Xbox. I know that later on in the year we have another large release coming, but it's interesting that.
And that release, by the way, will come to Xbox. We have announced it, but just in case you haven't seen it.
Yeah. But we have, so when we're going to know who won the paint competition, we're going to do that later on today. I'm scrolling down to the bottom. There's loads of questions coming through. Servers, people are saying about the servers. That's why we're here right now, to talk to you guys while you wait for the servers to come back on. That's why we brought David here.
Okay, so for those asking, there's lots of new stuff to come. I can't comment on anything that might be Thargoid related because I will end up spoiling whatever's coming.
You don't want to know, obviously, guys.
Yeah, you don't want to know. The thing is to find out what's coming. There are lots of exciting new things coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Velocity Vector? Question mark.
Right. Speaking of Xbox, what's exclusive?
I can stop.
No, never mind.
I'll slow it down a little bit there. Oh.
Have you tried switching it off and on again? Yeah, I think that's what we do with the microphone here. With the server, there's a bit more to it than that. With the server, it's copying across and merging various databases. That takes the time.
One thing that someone's asking there has been Darian, don't answer the question, but who is the new Emperor Empress? I love that people are getting so invested in the storyline aspects of it. What sort of things inspire you when you were coming up with these characters early on, and how?
Well, don't forget, we're largely the way I see it is we're laying out the opportunities, and then the way the players are responding is actually driving the story.
Yeah.
What we wanted to try and do right early on is create enough common sense ways that each of the different characters could come to prominence or not, depending on how and who supported them. And also, the way I see it is each different character represents a different sort of mindset. So, you know, Arissa is quite conservative. You've got Patrius, who is he'll get it done and he'll plead forgiveness later. You know, he will get things done, but he's not nice about it. You know, and they are, various of them are based on a combination of a number of characters from history. And ironically, if we revealed who those characters were, it might not make you like the characters as much as some people seem to.
That's really, really interesting. So some people, is there a limit on what type of ships can make landfall? So I imagine they're saying...
Yes, so the capital ships will not be able to make landfall. Okay. Directly.
Is there obviously a more reason behind that? Probably scientific.
Oh, there is. I mean, if you think of the docking slot as dictating, I mean, there are different kinds of play where ships like the Anaconda, the Federal Corvette, the Imperial Cutter are right at the top end of what you can get through a slot, and also plausibly what you could get to land on the surface, because it's got to have a huge amount of power to be able to essentially fight against one or even more G on the surface of the planet to be able to get back off again. You know, so and the other thing is, you know, in today there's something called a Panamax, people will know about, which is a type of ship which is defined by the Panama Canal. So it is literally exactly the right width, with minus a couple of inches on either side to slot down the Panama Canal. And they look really weird. It looks like if you sort of inflate a balloon inside a box, it's that sort of shape. And so the docking slot does determine the outer dimensions of these ships with a little bit of a safety margin.
Interesting.
And really so some of the large ships to come, you'll see interesting things about them. I'm thinking, for example, the Beluga. I probably shouldn't have said that.
No, it's great. I think people love to know that it's
which isn't one of the next round of ships. It's down the line. But the point is how they get in through the slot. You know that they're actually very physically big ships.
Yeah, there's hundreds of questions going through. You guys need to use lapel mics. We know about the microphones. Jesse Davis, sorry about that. We are going to get them sorted.
They do indeed.
We do have some amazing microphones right here that we should be using, but we had a camera malfunction. Yeah, just as
they stopped working, and for some reason we're going to have to diagnose what's gone wrong with the hardware. But no sound was coming through, so we thought we either go now with the mic that's on the camera or not at all.
This is a very interesting question because, of course, we like to wait till we've got the next big thing to talk about before we talk about it. But somebody there has said, "Where do you see Elite in 10 years?" Just maybe from the higher.
Well, level. What we're doing is
careful as you want.
Well, the point is that this is an amazingly ambitious project where essentially we're simulating everything at every level for everyone. Ultimately might be a way of looking at it, and doing it in a sensible order where we build things out. You know, I mean, 10 years is a very long time, but there are a lot of things that I'd really like to do, and we can do them sort of by degrees, as you're seeing now. You know, we're adding planet surfaces, different aspects. You know, we've said that in a future season we'll have walking around inside spaceships, inside stations, on planet surfaces. Ultimately, you know, each of those you can just gradually build out, and the richness of all of those interactions. You know, there's so much complexity that is so exciting. You know, where you just naturally have avatars talking to each other, for example. I mean, you know, it's amazing that thing doesn't happen more often than it does. You know, just to get that richness of where the future goes. And also, you know, how people interact with that. You know, that in a sense, in some respects, we're quite technologically limited. Just think where the technology has gone in the last year. You know, with looking at all these lovely technologies like Oculus Rift and HTC Vive, you know, Steam VR, and lots of other things coming like that. And you know, other technologies in terms of control mechanics. I mean, looking, you know, coming to Xbox now and bringing a whole new community to the game. You know, ultimately to be able, you know, that is really exciting. It means that you know, our kids can play more just for whatever reason. It might be averse to PC.
Absolutely.
And it's very, very easy. And the other thing that I really love about Xbox is, you know, when someone says, "Oh, should I get I've got your game on Xbox," I'll be completely happy that the game will work fine. With PC, even when they say, "Oh, I've got a laptop," and I just start inwardly thinking, and that's no criticism of Elite or of the team. It's that some laptops out there are really, really good. Some are remarkably poor for reasons that it's not obvious by looking at it. And sadly, most people don't know the spec, and it's actually quite hard to find out what graphics chip you've got in your laptop if you don't know how to interrogate it. So as the world changes, to go back to the point, in sort of 10 years' time, even 5 years' time is a hell of a time in technology. If you rewind back where we were 5 years ago, so I think it will be truly awesome. Hopefully, truly awesome as measured by the standard of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think by today's standards, it will be something that's just very different from where we are now.
So we have hundreds of these questions pouring.
Yeah, I'm sure people can see it's very hard.
Is that
how long does the update need now? I don't know, because I've been on this live stream.
Stay with me. So he's probably received about 1,000 emails.
My phone's on silent, so I don't even.
Somebody's asking me if there's a love bite on my neck. It's actually a birthmark, chaps. So just end that one there, yeah?
Right, actually, can we stop it?
Yeah,
because I can't read it quickly. Yeah, that's right. Do we scan planets in orbit or on land? How does it work? Okay, so you can scan planets in orbit as you're going, and it will show you targets. There will be kit you can get for your ship that makes it better. You will also be able to scan from your SRV as you go, and you'll see smaller things that you wouldn't have been able to see from orbit. A lot of the detail with that is actually genuinely we don't know the really rich detail, but we know the big scale detail of how it's going to work. You don't necessarily know all the things that you're going to be able to find, and that will gradually increase with time as well.
So we do only have you for another 5-ish minutes, so if you want to answer any more.
Right, whether the beta's backers getting their free ship, I think we may have mentioned that already. It's coming very soon. We're going to announce what's going to happen quite soon.
Very, very soon. Very soon. It's works to go on.
Yeah.
Extraterrestrials, question mark?
Well, I think the answer is almost all of the players in the game, if you think about it, are extraterrestrials by the definition of the word.
Very true.
So yes, we have lots of them in game today.
Every day you're an extraterrestrial.
That's right. And to assume that they were all born on Earth, i.e. Terra, would be surprising. So there you go.
So Joey Collins says, what happens if a planet's gravity is higher than the thrusters can support? Again, we are not talking more about 1.4 and things like that, but I'm sure that's
right. Okay, so yes, that's a good point, because we looked at the range of gravities, and I think the other thing is, out of the science simulation, there is an upper limit to the size that you can get rocky worlds, and that's because of the science of how they form. That if you're above a certain mass, the escape velocity is such that the planet at a given temperature can retain gases, particularly hydrogen and helium. And then very quickly, if it retains those, it becomes a gas giant. Now, there are exotic planets which are, for example, gas giants where their atmosphere has been ablated off. So we are looking at high levels of gravity. But the quick, sensible answer is there an upper limit of gravity which you can just about cope with, but you'll find it's sort of the ground's very, very sticky indeed. And we are tuning the values of the thrusters so that I mean, it would be stupidly frustrating if it allowed you down to the surface of the planet, and then you just die, or you were stuck in place,
destroyed.
I mean, there's another practical problem as well. Is a human can only survive certain levels of gravity for some time. I mean, on a roller coaster, you might get 4 or 5 G for a short time, and it's quite thrilling, but really, really hard on you. You can't sustain that for all that long. That I've heard that sustaining more than 3G can be very bad for you. For example, if people are looking at a rocket going to Mars, for example, sustaining that for hours on end would be a problem. Whereas 2G, you could just about do if you were super fit. So with all of these things, you've got to think of the fact that you are in the ship. And we don't have artificial gravity or any way of blocking gravity. So if you were just so we do have a natural upper limit anyway.
So questions that are coming through quite a bit that I don't want to ignore is about the Oculus 7.0.7 support. And of course, I just wanted to mention it because of course we know that there are a lot of people who are keen fans of VR that play our games.
Absolutely. Well, we're working closely with Oculus at the moment. We don't have anything to say on that yet.
That's the answer. I expect.
There is a problem which with Oculus we need to overcome before we can say when it would be supported.
Yeah, I just thought it would be good to be straight with them because they've asked quite a
Oh
few
no, I
times.
know, and I know it's awkward, but it's not entirely in our gift. That's part of the issue.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, you were talking about sort of the science of rocky planets and the gravitational pull and the limitations that have to be there. One thing that I'm always fascinated by when people come to me at shows, and I'll be giving them the pitch of the game, the enthusiastic pitch, and I'll say, "Oh, but David, he loves the science behind the game. So it's the only thing we had to cheat on is faster than light travel, things like that."
Yeah.
So, is there anything that maybe the audience at home who are keen players, keen community members, might not know about the sort of the science behind Elite Dangerous and things like that?
Well, actually, there's a question on the screen from Bahazalt.
Bahazalt, yes.
When will the black holes be really dangerous? Now, the interesting thing is all bodies are really dangerous because of their gravity, because they pull you in. I mean, whether you hit the surface of the Earth at 20,000 miles an hour, or you hit the surface of a black hole at 20, either way, you're going to be splatted. The problem with black holes is around them is there will be intense radiation fields, and radiation is something that we also have assumed that your ship would be very well shielded.
Yeah.
We've implied the ships are shielded, have very strong electromagnetic fields, or whatever. But also medically, people would be able to cope with radiation, which is a bit of a sort of blurring your eyes a bit. But I'm sure we would be able to do something. Yeah. We couldn't say if we just said, "Oh, people can't go in space for more than an hour," that would spoil the game terribly.
Well, yeah, that would be, because the amount of times that the community members put into the game, hundreds and hundreds of hours at a time, and obviously we love you guys for putting so much passion behind there. Yeah. That's an interesting thing. How does, and obviously, I don't know, people at home who may not know David, David is obviously CEO and founder of Frontier Developments and the co-creator of the original Leap from 1984. So just before we do let you go, because there's important things are happening outside of this room, how is it different now developing a video game to how it was back when you were in your bedroom?
It's very, very different, and it's much better now. I think, to be honest, now is the best time it's ever been.
Wow. For
developing video games. So just to qualify that, because people go, "Oh, it's not the edge." Well, firstly, the games in the 80s and 90s and even very late 70s, just to show what an old git I am, time compresses things. It's like pop music. We remember the 60s and 70s being great for pop music. But actually, there was a lot of rubbish around. Same with games. There were lots of rubbish games, but we forget that. Time gets compressed.
Yeah.
And you remember the good ones. One of the problems, I would say, all right up until probably a few years ago, the games came through publishers, and that really constrained the games that were made. And what's happened with Elite Dangerous is it suddenly made possible a whole load of new games, and the whole indie scene is. There are lots of fun ideas. Some of them don't work so well. Some of them work really beautifully. But games are allowed to live or die on their quality, much more so than the route to market. So that's a real difference. But what it's meant is that there's much more creative freedom. So developers have much more creative freedom as a rope, if you like, which they hang themselves. So they can either make some beautiful.
Chat is moving very fast. So
yes, so a lot of things. More skins. Yes, there are more skins to come.
Please can I have a bobblehead of David? You can go to the store right now, frontierstore.net, and you can pre-order a bobblehead of David Braben on there. They're right there. It was an interesting experience seeing David's first reaction to the bobblehead video. It was fun. I have to say it was interesting.
Yeah.
But the reaction to that, though, that must make you feel great, because people loved it and people are really excited to see
it. It's bad enough even hearing yourself. Never mind seeing yourself. Now a bobblehead just takes that level worse.
Right.
It is. I can see on the one hand it is an honour, but I would much the bobbleheads of other characters that are coming are much better.
Look at the speed of this. There's so
much servers. I don't know. We'll find out as soon as we go off this.
So Pikeett Manson says David seems like a pretty sharp guy. Well, of course.
Who's better, Blackadder or Mr. Beam? Blackadder, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you? Go on.
There's so many.
Apologise to me, David Braben. Serious. Don't know what I'm apologising for. Yeah. I'm sure I did something bad. Well, damage checks is owe it to other ships beside the Anaconda. It's not just textures; it's mesh is the issue there. We have damage for every single ship, but the ship doesn't survive.
Yeah,
right. If you attack a ship, you see bits of Sidewinder spinning off. Think of that as damage to your ship.
Interesting. So, guys, thank you so much so far for watching today. David has to get back to work now.
We'll find out where we are with the service.
Important things. But we really do appreciate all these. I'm going to actually close these comments so we don't get distracted by them anymore.
Yes, I was looking at
great. Yeah, you guys are amazing. So, before you go, we've got some exciting announcements. After this, I am going to have to take a little quick break because we're going to try and get these microphones working again. We're going to try and hopefully get some gameplay going soon, very soon. We're going to get another guest on as well. But before we do that, David, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. Ed. I really, really do appreciate it.
And also I'll say thank you to Ed for doing all these community streams, often at awkward hours, and our whole team working now, not just the people you see on screen, but the people who are beavering away, trying to do whatever it is that in the last half hour, 40 minutes we've not been looking at, to find out what, they work so hard, and we'll be staying late tonight to make sure it works, so huge thanks to them and to you, Ed, to everyone involved.
Yeah, we want the smoothest gaming experience for these guys at home, so that's why we're all here, and I really do care. I'm just, the thing for me, I enjoy it. I love it. I love being on here, and I do often feel very, very privileged that I get to talk to people like yourself and people high up in the It's really, genuinely. And I know that the guys at home would absolutely love to do that. 1,500 viewers here, by the way.
Excellent. Well, thank you everybody for watching this stream, and fingers crossed we'll go live very soon.
Right, let's get signed. This sign just really quickly.
Oh yeah, okay.
And when we're back, we'll have somebody else on here as well, and we'll also announce the first winner of the paint job competition as well. So do stick around. I want to show up this David signature first before we go. Remember, we're giving this away at the end of the stream. There it is. Thank you so much. So as you can see, David has signed it there at the bottom. Yeah. Right. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, and we will be back very, very, very soon in the next few minutes. Thank you. See if the chat's still there. 1% says, hey Ed, how do you get your hair so shiny? Oh, we're on, by the way, in the background. It says starting soon, but actually we're making sounds, I think, already, because I forgot to press the mute button. So I'll bring it back to our faces, because apparently I might have got the microphone sounding slightly better. What I want to know from you guys in the chat is if that is sounding any better. So do let me know. Boom. Boom, is it coming back? You can have it. Yay, 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 yay. Says complicated nickname. Shiny Station says the amazing WJW. Ed, how did you get your hair so smelly? Says 62 Roy B. Shiny hair is back. Hello? Oh, no sound. It's back? Much better. Much better. Yes. Perfect. So silky smooth, hair so shiny. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate that you like my hair so much. I can try and turn up the sound a little bit. If not, what we're going to do, just whack up the speakers on your speakers and see if you can get things there. I'm really sorry. I forgot, in all my excitement.
You've forgotten that someone else
In all my excitement, I forgot somebody was here.
You were too busy looking at your shiny hair.
I gotta say, my shiny hair it's just the lighting in here. It's actually a very matte effect that I have usually. I mean, what do you want to ask? Jim Stimson, I'm very, very sorry. If we're going to have to talk a little bit, maybe more directly into the microphones. How does that sound? Is that a little bit better if I just walk right in here? I don't condition my hair. This is all very strange. Yeah, Jim is the guy who disconnected the servers, and it's your fault why that people can't still play. Is that true?
That's a terrible joke. There's going to be so much hatred for me.
Yes. No, this isn't actually true. If you want to move it a little closer, Jim, so you can be a bit more in line with me here. Yeah, I'm sorry about the. I'm going to move. What I'm going to do is just going to edit here, and I'm going to change the color down slightly of the brightness or the contrast. This might look. There you go. So we're slightly less washed out now. Anyway, what I thought I would do is. Braben has already been on the stream, so thank you so much, David, for coming on. Really, 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 really appreciate you being here. It was an absolutely brilliant, fun stream. And I'm not the host of Newsjack. Are you the host of Newsjack?
I don't think so.
Honestly, this is it's a lot of people. This stream is moving very, very. So, Jim,
Yes.
Jim Stimson. People who may not have seen you before, what do you do for Elite Dangerous?
I am a senior designer on Elite Dangerous, and I've mostly been working on CQC.
Yeah, that's right.
In the recent times.
In the recent times, yeah. Yes. So how was that? How was working on something like CQC different to? And also, so if anybody's got any questions about CQC, do let us know. Again, we are going to go working on this to make this sound better. Some people are saying it's crazy. People still talking about the shiny hair. Honestly, this is
apparently. Yeah, I think that's one of my friends, George Reynolds, wants a shout out.
Oh, George
Hi,
Reynolds.
George.
Hey,
Hi.
George Reynolds. Nice to see you. Thanks very much for stopping by. So, Jim, it's an exciting day for you.
Yes.
How are you feeling? Keep
Excited,
talking. Keep talking.
nervous. Looking forward to review scores coming in.
Yeah.
For the Xbox, we've got some.
Oh
some
God,
in
that's
so
not
far.
supposed to
Don't do
happen.
that.
I apologize.
Got some really good reviews so far. So yeah,
That's not good.
we're all pretty happy.
Yeah,
What are you up to, Ed?
I'm just trying to adjust. I'm
us
trying to
look
make us
prettier, aren't you?
less shiny. We're a little shiny. So I'll put the brightness up a
It's
little
just
bit.
your
Oh
hair.
no,
Ed,
that's.
it's fine.
Oh God! Oh no! It's all happening here. What I just did before with David was a really professional stream. We had a really good chat, and it was dead easy. Oh, I've deleted us. Yeah, we're back. We're back. There you go. Contrast down a little. This is watch a man edit a live stream live. The official Elite Dangerous live stream.
We're prepared. It's fine.
Thanks very much, Kim. It's no Ed, no ED. So, Ian, I've heard a rumor on the grapevine that it might be very, very soon. Zach can probably confirm in the chat that we might be having a server back on very, very soon.
Fingers
so
crossed.
when that happens, we can actually start playing some games on here too. Remember, I've got loads of different people coming on today. I have Sandra Samarco is going to be coming by to say hello. We have Jim Stimson here as well from the development team. We've got Adam and Eddie,
Yes.
the producers. Gary Richards, who you guys have never met before, and I think he's going to be really excited. People are saying server up, exclamation mark. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
I'm just fiddling with microphones.
Yeah, this is...
That's a bit better.
Just because
So
I
I'm
can
not
fiddle
just
around with things doesn't mean you can too, all right? So what we were hoping to do with Jim is play some CQC. But of course, obviously, with CQC not being quite ready yet, it's quite difficult to do. But
Yes.
so what do you think? How do you feel about today? I know that you've just said that you are excited about it, but what is it that's different about working on something like the Xbox One that it is working on something like the PC versions of a game?
It's a good question, Ed.
Yeah, it's a very good question.
Yeah, and you went around the houses, so I'm not really sure what the question is.
No, I'm just saying, like, is it a different experience to developing for a console than it is developing for PC?
In my experience, not massively.
Okay, that's
Because
fine,
a lot of the
That's
time,
interesting to know.
Yeah, when we're developing
Sorry.
on console, we are also testing on PC at the
Yeah.
same time. So a lot of the stuff, like for CQC, it's actually faster for us to build and test on PC. And then once we're happy with it on PC, then we move over to Xbox.
Yeah.
And then check it on that.
Yeah, so 10 out of 10 interview. Yes, I know. So hopefully, is it considered to add a CQC racing mode? I think that we don't obviously know specifics right now, but you guys are obviously, you've been sort of given the go-ahead to almost work more on CQC and things like that because it's been seen as a very positive thing at home for the people playing.
Yeah, so we've got really, really positive reactions from everyone. Something like the racing mode is definitely something we're looking into because a lot of people have said that they're interested in it.
Visor UK says Anton deck for the win. I don't mind that. That's fine. They're handsome, successful guys.
Yes. Who's who?
So does anyone have any serious questions for Jim? Because I really do.
Okay, there's one there about the plasma repeater being introduced into the main game. There's a possibility of that.
That's interesting.
Originally, when we were designing all the CQC stuff and David saw the weapons, he was he did mention that he was keen to get them across into the main game, so fingers crossed.
Fantastic.
At some point.
It's really
Yes.
good. How are you planning to launch your gangster rap careers?
I guess maybe on this live stream.
Yeah, I mean, we could do it later on if you want. No, so CQC Racing, someone called Fat Haggard. Yeah, there's a guy in the community who'll be very, very quiet, very happy about that. Matt McLeish says, very quiet volume, please. This is honestly a step up from the previous volume that we had. So we are gonna go back every time in between each section and have a little fiddle around and get it to a really, really nice level. So hopefully this is going to be okay for you. Ship models in real life, that's something, again, that I know that the guys in the other building, because we have 2 buildings. Oh, spoilers. How did you get your hair so shiny? Asks Paul Finlay. Guns don't kill people, live streams do. This live stream's killing me already. So we're here. I'm here for another, I think, 3 hours or 2.5 hours to celebrate the. Yeah, you want to just turn it towards your face a bit more to celebrate the arrival of 1.4 and CQC. How does that sound? Is that better? This is crazy.
Move mics. I can't actually get any closer to the microphone.
So what's your experience been like working at Frontier Developments? Is that been an exciting thing today?
So today is actually my work anniversary.
Wow. How many years?
7 years. Yeah.
So what did you do previously on well, first of all, on Elite Dangerous, because I know people are going to be excited about Elite Dangerous at home.
So on Elite Dangerous, I mainly worked on CQC and also on the USSs.
Okay.
So when I first came on, we were adding in USSs for wings, so the strong USSs that are really hard.
Interesting.
I was part of that.
Great.
You can hate on me for that.
No, I think people will like that. What do people think of the USSs, the stronger USSs? Happy work anniversary, says Lenaik Rodinga. So anyway, thank you guys. I see we've got 1,300 people viewing, 2 idiots talk about a game while we wait for the servers to come back online so we can play it. And that's really, really why I love this community so much and love these people who come by. So we did have David Braben just on, and that video will actually be on the archived thing. Hopefully you'll be able to play around with the sound. So some people are telling us to move away from the mics, and some people are telling us to move towards the mics. So that's really interesting. Somebody says that we need even stronger USSs. How do you feel about that?
If people want them, we will make them.
He's the guy behind the USSs. Get him. How do you feel about that?
I'm not behind all of them, just some of them.
Please, server, come back up. I love that people are so excited about these servers coming up. I think people are really getting quite excited about it.
Someone wants a shiny Jim bobblehead. I'm behind that. 100%.
The lighting is not flattering for anyone in this room.
Really, really white foreheads.
Okay. Anything to say about the Imperial Cutter? Did you have anything to do with the Imperial Cutter?
I haven't, and I don't think I can talk about it either.
That's a shame. Well, I was testing you to see whether you were able to talk about it. No, you're correct. What is your favourite power in the game? There's actually a Meet the Team with Jim,
yes,
which is really, really informative and really, really interesting. So I do recommend you go and check that out. That's that. So that's where they would tell you, on there. People just like to complain.
I just read a question about the Condor and now I've lost it.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry. They're
gone.
flying through so fast. Whoever asked that, ask it again.
Like tears in the rain. Can we get the Imperial Eagle in CQC? Why did you choose the ships that you did for CQC?
So we were given the fighter to begin with, and then it was just kind of a case of discussing which ships we wanted, and we picked the smaller ones so we could build things like tunnels. Where did I buy my shirt?
Wearing a jumper.
Sorry. Anyway, so we picked similar sized ships so we could build the environments around those ships.
Yeah.
Because if you had like a fighter, which is quite small, and an Anaconda sharing the same environment, it's kind of difficult to balance.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what is it? I am using the scroll bar, guys. I am. So I shouldn't comment on that. It's very difficult for me to not comment on every single comment that I'm seeing come through. And it's very difficult and weird. What ships are confirmed for 1.5? We can't really talk about that just yet at the moment. The servers are up for some people, apparently. That doesn't mean you should leave us. You should stick around and chat. We've got loads of different people coming through. So you've got multi-screens for a reason, right, guys? You've got 2 screens for a reason.
Yeah.
A screen on one, on the other. But hopefully soon as well, we will be jumping on CQC to play it with some of the future guests that I've got coming through in a few moments. So do stick around for that. While Jim is here, though, while we've got him, I know that we ran a little bit over with David. I just thought I would ask him a few questions about Spider-Man. No, that's not true. Jim is a big fan of Spider-Man, though, but that's
Yes.
completely irrelevant for anybody who...
Apart from on
watching.
our last stream.
Apart from anybody who's watching the last stream.
Yeah,
You are
people
wearing...
got angry.
Yeah, people did get really annoyed about that. So if anything goes wrong, we'll start talking about Spider-Man again, all right? So there is a serious thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is the paint job competition. I don't know if you saw much about the paint job competition.
It was a competition for people to design their own
Their
paint
own,
jobs,
their own
correct?
paint jobs,
Yes.
that's right. And
they will end up in game.
They will end up in game in Horizons. When Elite Dangerous Horizons come down, there's going to be much more details that we're going to be releasing about how you're going to get that and who's actually going to get those as well. Because obviously the winner is the person who designed that is going to get them. But also we have a selection. I think that their friends are going to be able to get some as well and stuff. We're working on the ins and outs of all those sorts of different things. But what I wanted to do is show the very first, and hopefully you guys can hear me when I change over to this screen. The very first winner of the paint jobs competition is, and I have his name written down, or her name, so I do apologise if this is incorrect. But we have an Anaconda. So this is actually a really, really special moment for a lot of people as well, because a lot of people ask questions about the Anaconda. When are we going to get more paint jobs for it? And we do have one right here that I'm going to show you on here. So this is the one we chose. It went through a rigorous... Well, the thing is, what
you're building up.
I am building up too much. I should just put it on.
I can't handle it.
There it is. Hopefully people can hear
That's
us
pretty sweet.
while we show that in there. But that is called. Hopefully people can. I'm just going to check that people can hear while we're talking over the Anaconda. Conda, make more paint jobs than Anaconda. Squee, Conda. Hello, says Matt Dempster. So this Anaconda paint job we have is by Strife 3025. So what I want everybody, nice people like it. Some people don't like it.
I was going to say.
So everybody, if I wish I had a round of applause sound effect to play. Round of applause for Strife 3025. And this one's actually called Chevron. So I will be putting out at the end of the week in the newsletter, we will be putting out the whole collection of all of the winners of all the paint jobs. So you'll get to see every single one. But in the next section, I'm going to be unveiling the next winner, which is actually for a Viper. So we tried to pick one for each ship that we put out there as well. So there you go. Well done again to Strife 3025. And hopefully he's in the chat and he's excited about that. But yeah, you're going to have loads more. And also that isn't the only Anaconda paint job that's coming to Elite Dangerous as well. So do get excited for that.
There's a great name in there. Bananaconda.
Bananaconda. Yeah, no, it's called the Chevron, right? I wish we had you when we were trying to name these things. But of course, guys, 1.4 is on its way. That's why we're here today, to celebrate 1.4 arriving. We're here to talk about CQC and all those sorts of things. And as soon as the servers are up, I'm going to jump back in to make sure we can get the game running so we can play some games against people at home. And that's what I want to do. Jim, maybe if you come back later in a couple hours' time, we can actually play this. That's not how long it's going to take. I'm interested about this. So, stick around for some more. Before you go, Jim, I want to thank you again. I know that was really, really quick. But it's been a pleasure.
Short
as
and
always.
sweet, yeah.
Short,
Like my
short
wife
event, I
says.
think. Interesting. I feel like we've almost just froze on that. Right, before you go, Jim,
Yes.
we are getting everybody who comes in today to sign a lovely piece of artwork here, as you can see. This is signed by David Braben so far.
Yes.
It's just a nice piece of art there with
Nice.
Imperial Eagle, like we were talking about earlier. So I want you to sign it for us, and then at the
Gladly.
end of the stream, at around about 7:45, we're going to be giving this away. So do come back, make sure you're here to say goodbye to me, because I'm going to be streaming this entire time. After I've taken a few breaks to make sure we can get this audio and all the things set up nice and stuff like that. But yeah, do come back. So let's get you signed.
Yes.
Thank you again, Jim. I said this to David
Thanks.
before.
Thanks for
It's a
having me.
pleasure. I'm very lucky that I get to stay here and talk to people like yourself who get designing video games. It's really, really awesome. Really, really cool. What is your plan to expand the CQC gameplay? I just like that sort of stuff.
In general, more maps, more modes,
Do it.
some other things.
Awesome.
Possibly.
That sounds amazing. That's all we need to hear. So guys, you got your pen here. Make sure you get signed. Hope you're all having a nice time in chat. Out of sync since the buffering. We do apologise about that. Make sure you press F5 and we can probably get that back on. We are going to take a little break in just a second to make sure we get the sound just about right again. But thanks so much for watching, and we will be. Sign it first.
You want
Does
me to
anyone
sign it
what
first?
do you want to say? What do you want Jim to write on it?
Oh, I'm just going to put my name.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
It's
Personalised.
disappointing.
Horrible message.
We have got Sandro
Oh,
coming
I
up
need
very,
to
very soon, though, as well. He's
find
going to be coming
somewhere
up
to
in the
move
next few
properly.
minutes. Sandro Samarco, he loves talking to you guys. So he is the lead designer on Elite Dangerous, and I think he's going to have a really good time having a chat with you. So there you go. So we will be. I'm going to hold this up. Jim's signature's on there now already. Jim,
Yes.
it's been a pleasure. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
You're the man. And we will see. Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
Do you want
It's a Nigel head shake.
There we go.
It's like I've won
It's a
something.
treaty.
Back in a moment,
Signed.
guys.